Have you ever wondered what happens to the brain as we age? This podcast will explain what changes take place in the brain and will give an insight into the modern techniques used to analyse these changes. The brain is a very complex organ composed of many different areas and types of tissue or matter. As we age, the brain begins to undergo structural, chemical, and genetic changes, including the loss of neurons and connections. This causes impairment of many abilities, such as encoding new memories and the speed of processing thoughts. This degeneration of the brain is known as cerebral atrophy. So firstly, how exactly can we observe these structural changes in the brain? You may be thinking the answer is traditional MRI scanning, which produces an image like the one shown here. However, this technique does not show where the water diffuses in the brain, which is a crucial part of understanding cerebral atrophy. A technique called diffusion tensor imaging, or DTI for short, is used. This is the magnetic resonance technique that enables the measurement of the restricted diffusion of water in tissue. It provides useful structural information about tissues such as muscle and brain. This image is a DTI scan of the entire brain showing all visible tracts. The unique property of DTI is that it allows you to construct tracks and pathways within the brain and make measurements such as fractional anisotropy, or FA. Fractional anisotropy is a scalar value between 0 and 1 which describes how restricted the diffusion of water around the brain is. A value of 0 would mean that the diffusion of water is isotropic, so it would move in all directions without any restriction. A value of 1 would mean that the diffusion of water is anisotropic, meaning that the diffusion occurs only along one axis. As said before, aging causes degeneration of white matter in the brain, so we would presume that the diffusion of water in the brain becomes more isotropic because there are less obstacles in the way of the water. An experiment was carried out to test this hypothesis. 20 healthy subjects were scanned using DTI whose ages ranged from 55 to 93 years old. Tracks were constructed from the corpus callosum of the brain, showing the specific pathways where water diffuses. Here show the main results from this experiment, showing the comparison between the 55 and 93-year-olds. You can clearly see that the 93-year-old has far fewer tracks, indicating that this person has suffered from cerebral atrophy. The scans only show isotropic diffusion, so we can conclude that the diffusion of water becomes more anisotropic as we age.